Hello, Slapafish community. Welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the brand new toy tanks and the two that we've been always having. And I'm also going to do a brief overview of the toy tank mode right now that's going on. The Happy Holidays Reloaded is the official name. Because right now that is the only mode that you can actually play the toy tanks in for now. Now, the toy tank mode, which is the Happy Holiday Reloaded mode, will only be going for a week. It's going to be going from the 10th of December to the 17th of December. And it's a 7v7 match, a multiplayer match where you go 7 versus 7 real people, and the first people to get 20 kills wins. And there's respawns, and you also earn more Commander XP during the tank mode, toy tank mode, and you also can earn some snowballs. Not much, but it's still some more. So, also the map is much bigger with, it's much bigger with tunnels and like some highways, which are kind of like roadways, like toy roadways, I guess. Has like second level height to it. And also all the new toy tanks also get like a speed boost, a slight forward speed boost. So that's really cool. That's for all the toy tanks. And how do you activate that? That's with the handbrake button. The button that you use for handbraking, that's your button. So also there's presents. Every time you kill a tank, you get one of two things. A present will spawn that anybody can pick up, and it either gives you one of two things. It restores your hit points, or it gives every person in your team snowballs. And that's pretty much it for what's new with the toy tank mode. So let's start with the toy tanks. Now the first one we're going to start talking about is the regular toy tank. This is the heavy tank. It is the most rounded toy tank. This one's also free for all players. It hits 1,950 hit points, which is the most of any of the toy tanks. It also has 100 millimeters of frontal armor, or 101 millimeters of frontal armor, which is actually important because some tanks cannot pin you in the front. It has the most armor of any of the toy tanks. It does 195 damage per shot with a 3-second reload. DPM is 3,900, and yeah, it's free for all players, and it's the most rounded of all the toy tanks. Now let's go on to the other free one, which is the toy artillery, which is the glitter bomb. This is the artillery of the game mode. You can play it as a regular artillery, like the artillery mode, or you can use your 1,750 hit points and brawl with that way, because you have a 4-shot autoloader that does 600 damage if it actually manages to pin, and it only has 60 millimeters of penetration. Remember, the glitter bomb is like high explosive, and it actually has normal armor, 60 millimeters of armor at the front, and it is also the slowest toy tank at 28 kilometers. And it is a free toy tank that everybody gets. And I also forgot to mention, you cannot equip any equipment on the toy tanks, and you can only equip one of two consumables: rations or fuel. So let's go on to the Nurf stroyer TD. It is the only TD of the toy tanks. It also costs 5,000 snowballs, which is the cheapest toy tank that you could buy. It is pretty much just like the regular toy tank, but hits harder at 600 damage. It also has 245 millimeters of penetration. Its DPM 3,600, which is the lowest, and it has a 10-second reload. But on the plus side, it does 600 damage per shot, and it has the 60 millimeters of frontal armor. And it also, its damage and its penetration is the highest Well, it has the highest damage at 600. Now we're going to get into your other cheaper one, the Megablaster. This is a medium tank. I believe it's the only medium tank. Yes, it is the only medium tank, and this is a ATGM. It only fires ATGMs, and it is another. It also costs 5,000 snowballs. It's also the cheapest, along with the Nurf store. So this is the more starting to get the more unique toy tanks of the mode. The ATGM does 550 damage every 8 seconds, which is 2 seconds better than the Nurf toy tank. It also has 800 millimeters of penetration, by far the highest. The second highest is the Nurf at 245, I believe it was. The ATGMs do not have a minimum arming distance, so you can just run around and just fire your ATGMs, or you can stay back in the distance and fire your ATGMs. So, correction, there are 6 toy tanks. Yeah. Oops. Also, let's move on to the next one, which is the old Sparky. This is a heavy tank, and it's a flamethrower tank, which actually doesn't really work in this game mode that well. It gets a lot of damage, but it doesn't really it's kind of like complicated to talk about until you actually play it. This is the one I least likely to recommend for the toy tank mode. On the website, it does say the old Sparky is really good at taking down ice tanks and yetis, so it might be good in the other tank modes. The other toy tank modes. And also, this one is also 10,000 snowballs, really expensive. The flamethrower does 70 damage per shot of its flamethrower. It's 60 shots per clip, so that gives it a potential damage of 4,200. If it pins, also remember these tanks cannot catch on fire. So, yeah, that's a big thing about being a flamethrower. Catching the tank on fire. As you can see, doesn't really work that well. Hopefully it works better in the other game modes, and this one it just does not really work. It also has 1,700 of hit points, and despite being a heavy tank, it only has the normal 60 millimeters of frontal armor. And yeah, it also has a 5-second reload on its flamethrower. This one I do not recommend for the toy tank mode. Hopefully it gets way better in the other modes. The other modes that you get to play toy tanks in. Because right now, I do not like this. The old Sparky. It is not. But, let's get into my favorite of the toy tanks. By far my favorite. Which is the Yellow Rider. And it costs 10,000 snowballs. This is the only light tank of the toy tanks. It is a autoloader, even though it has 2 guns. It looks like a double barrel tank, but it's not. It is only an autoloader that has a 0.06 second interclip with 70 shots in a clip, doing 24 damage per shot. Has a potential clip of 1,680. This is the fastest of the toy tanks. The other one's going 42, minus the Arctic that goes 28, and this goes 62 kilometers, and it has a 100 millimeters penetration, which cannot pin the front of the regular toy tank. Also, this tank is very fun to use your speed boost and just run off the fly off the rounds around the map and just get a whole bunch of air. And you can also use your speed boost in midair, which is really fun. I also want to say this: the speed boost only goes forward. You cannot go reverse with it. It only goes forward. You can go up 101 kilometers, and the Yellow Rider for like a second with the speed boost. I really like the Yellow Rider. If you ever, so Yellow, if you had a choice between the Yellow Rider and the old Sparky for the toy tank mode, pick the Yellow Rider. Right now, the Yellow Rider is so much better than the old spray. Hopefully, the old spray, the flamethrower one, gets much better with the other toy tank modes. Really hoping it does. And, well, that's it for this video. I hope y'all guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And subscribe so you can stay tuned, because I'll definitely publish more of the toy tanks when the other toy tank modes come out. Alright, bye guys.